And what about, some of some of these more investment banks, like we've seen Goldman Sachs has suffered quite a bit in their consumer
Mhm.
business. They've laid off thousands of employees, but I'm hearing they're considering a leverage buyout of Subway restaurants for 10 billion. They're
Mhm.
currently bidding against Bain and Texas Pacific Group,
Mhm.
and there might be more bidders that'll come in. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think this is a more of a systemic thing, or do you think some of the damage is contained at a few of these idiosyncratic names like the Silicon Valleys and the Blackstones and the Goldmans of the world?
Well, yeah, I would definitely say that there's a lot going on. Now, we would like it to be something that's localized, and probably Silicon Valley Bank and these, especially these ones that do lots of venture capital, are going to be the first in the long line of dominoes to have some problems. But overall, I don't really see a good way you can shut down the economy and just run the money printer over time for 2 to 3 years and expect that to not have any long-term effects. And I think that there's a lot of stuff going on right now that is definitely related to that. I definitely think that with a lot of Silicon Valley, I think that this could or could not be related to what's going on to the bank, but I definitely think that there is a giant bubble when it comes to a lot of tech stuff. You can usually tell when there's a bubble when people are starting to get too greedy and they think that everyone's going to just sit there get rich quick on Tesla stock, on whatever, venture capital, tech startups and stuff. And actually, I've gotten from some sources that Silicon Valley itself is almost runs like a pyramid scheme, where most startups, their goal is not even really to create good products, and their goal is literally just to get bought out by some company like Google or Facebook. And many of the times, a lot of these sort of angel financiers, they even know this, and they don't necessarily care about building the best product. They just want to invest only a little bit of money and then kind of build a hype around some company and get it bought out by some company that's just so, there's so much money burning a hole in their pocket, like someplace like Google, Facebook, that and a Silicon Valley Bank as one of these sort of venture capital interested kind of parties is probably been participating in this a little bit. And I think now the hens are coming to roost, and it's not working out very well, because if you're building a whole economy on hype, it's just destined to fail. And I think that that's a big problem with a lot of tech stuff, especially because a lot of the people in that sector are very visionary. They think that, well, I'm going to change the world, and they have this kind of, it's very much so about like this mindset that's not really about good fundamentals. And I think that because a lot of people are kind of in that mindset, a lot of them get themselves in trouble.